tell us a little bit about your approach to playing this role?
I did not know a lot going in, but I was told that David E. Kelley and Jack Bender really, really liked my audition tape. And then I was like, what did I do in my audition tape? Like, I don't even remember. And so I had to come into this project going, well, shit, I hope that the things that I've made without a whole lot of information are enough to go on. And I hope they were. I mean, I feel like I'm never done. You know, I feel like there's a lot more to do. It's kind of this sort of interesting thing about film. It capture that moment, and that's what it is forever. I don't think I've ever like ended something and been like, there it is. But yeah, I had a really beautiful time learning about wage labor, being a wage laborer, being somebody who's way overqualified for the job that they have, and how that feels on a daily basis, and being stuck in a kind of dead-end job that doesn't have a lot of upward mobility because I have neck tattoos in this story.
Is there anything in this character in which you, in some way, can relate your own personality?
I mean, I don't think that it's not me. Like, I'm sure there's a multitude of different Lou Linklaters out there in people's imaginations when they read the book. When they look at me, they might be like, that's not what I pictured, that's not what I dreamed up, you know? But as far as I can tell, there's only one Lou Linklater, and that's me. Yeah, I mean, I learn every time I do a role. I learn a tremendous amount I mean, when I did Unreal, I learned how to believe in God. I didn't know that people actually believed in God. I thought at the final hour, everyone had doubt. Apparently not. I learned about religion through that and what it meant to be ostracized because of your sexuality. And in this piece, I'm also ridiculed a lot for my gender choices and my sexual preferences. There's a lot of pain and hatred that I sort of let roll off my back. That's directed at me, and an expectation I think that people are going to reject and deject me. So I'd like to get a jump on it in this story. I've done things to make myself look a certain way so that everybody knows that I'm not going to play the, white male heterotrope bonanza that is rampant in my town, in Mr. Mercedes.
Sure.
Yeah. I feel like I'm talking like Lou right now. Like you're talking to me about it, and all of a sudden I'm like, yo, I'm like, oh yeah, that's what that world's like. I mean, I think certain people are outcast and oppressed, and we all handle it in different ways.
Totally.
Talking about you.
I know, I can hear it! Jack's talking about me. Hopefully good things.
So is that kind of what you want people to see in your character when they watch this television show? Do you want them to kind of get that outsider perspective, and you want them to relate to that and kind of see?
I mean, I hope that when somebody sees this show that they look at me and they say, shit, maybe I shouldn't be such a dick to that person at Best Buy. Wow, maybe there is a whole line of people that have said something to this person before I got here. My little comments, this is the astonishment of, people who always think, are you an angry lesbian, or an angry black man, or an angry black woman, or an angry woman, or an angry feminist, and you're like, there's this moment where you're like, that's the plight. That's like the when people are talking out or getting upset, and then they're blamed for it. And so in this story, I got a fucking attitude. Like, I got a bone to pick. There's been a line of things, and you have a thousand cuts, and then you say a little cutting thing, and all of a sudden you're an angry lesbian, right? And so it's like another layer of oppression where you're not allowed to speak, you're not allowed to be who you are, you're not allowed to say who you are. You're not going to see any of this in Mr. Mercedes. You might see a glimpse, a little flicker of it, but I think the biggest thing is, Brady Hartsfield is not taken care of by any sort of community either.
2 minutes.
And what we watch is when you apply pressure to somebody, when you push them out, when you say that they're not a part of this, that they have no value, that they're not welcome, there can be bursts of things inside of that, and I feel like we all need to be a little culpable in that. Responsible, but and then you see somebody like Brady, and he does these kind of nefarious things, these extremely dark, nefarious, evil things, and then you see someone like me, and I don't, and so then it becomes a question of like, one person who's been beat down does one thing, and the other person makes a totally different decision, and that usually comes from parents. Sorry, parents, but you're responsible for those deep, dark choices we make sometimes. And Brady Hartsfield, his home life and his family life that we'll come to see has a large part in his choice making.
Which has been for you the most challenging scene to shoot in this show in an emotional way?
Well, that's incredibly gratifying.
Ooh, I don't know if I can say without spoiling. Let's just say that something very bad happens, and I am kind of glad about it. And I have to deal with that. And learning about that, actually there's a lot of things in this story where I learned, is there a side of me that wants to lash out and hurt people, And what stops you from one person from the next? I don't in this story, but there's a little spark that wants to,
All right.
Thank you so much.